What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another TJ's Dallas Cowboys report, review, rants, and recaps. And today, this is a game recap of the 49-29 win against the Chicago Bears. The Dallas Cowboys were clicking on all three phases for the most part. I mean, we'll get into some little nitty gritty of the game, but wow, what a game. And as you can see, I'm in another new location. I new places and same faces. It is what it is. I gotta find a way to get it done. And I ain't missing a single Cowboys game. I drop everything, I stop everything, and I watch these games, and then I watch them back just to make sure I saw what I really saw. So we got a good review here, but yeah, let's get into this one. And I just kind of want to go over the actual game stats first, just to kind of give you a synopsis if you didn't watch the game. And if you didn't watch the game, I don't know why you're here. So I'm guessing you did watch the game, but some key notes: 200 rushing yards, no Zeke Elliott, and Tony P went to work. Dak got some runs in as well as Malik Davis, the rookie. So like to see that. 242 through the air, 442 total, and only 2 punts in the game. But we had 1 turnover, which we'll definitely have to get into that. But defensively, 240 rushing yards, and 131 passing yards, which, hey, that's spicy. You love to see that. Love to see that. 4 sacks on the day, a fumble, scoop, and score by Micah. And biggest stat of the day, though, by far, offensively, 9 of 11 on third down. Like, it feels like that's kind of been a really big Achilles heel, and it's good to see 9 of 11 on third down. That's more of that, please more of that. But yeah. Now let's get into the offensive nitty gritty of this game. So we knew coming in that we weren't going to have Zeke and we weren't going to have Noah Brown. So guys are going to have to step up, and boy, did Tony Pollard ever step up. 14 rushing attempts, 131 rushing yards, 3 tutties on the day. Just a monstrous game. Any given play, Tony can explode. He's one of those guys that other teams have, and I kind of think too, like your Tyreek Hills and your Jalen Waddle. I know they're on the same team, but those guys who can just hit that home run on any given moment, like, that's our guy. Tony Pollard is that guy for us. And yeah, he had a couple, like that one, obviously insane 54-yard run. He's too strong. He's too fast. He's too quick. He's too everything. He's Tony P. And what does this do besides just prove what people have been saying? Tony needs to get the ball, not even need to get the ball more, but he just needs to get it as much as Zeke, and they need to scheme up Tony, his runs that make him successful. Like in this game, like all the runs, it didn't matter. It wasn't just like, oh, he's only running outside. No, he was running inside. He was running outside. They were scheming it up where Tony was able to make the plays. And when you put that guy in the position to make the plays, he normally does make the play. So another thing that I just want to touch on quickly with Tony Pollard and Zeke, it really does bring up the whole debate, because somebody in the offseason is going to pay Tony Pollard. So is that going to be us, or are we going to just keep Zeke and, end up drafting somebody or just replacing Tony? Or do you keep Tony and you cut your losses with Zeke, eat a little bit of dead cap? It's going to be tough to see what they do, but man, I'm just excited that we get to watch Tony Pollard the rest of the season. So let's not worry about that. But while we're touching on the running game, Tony Pollard, 5.3 rush per carry. Jamal Charles, 5.4. Nick Chubb, 5.4. That's NFL history yards per carry. Tony Pollard is third. So I got that via Jeff Kavanaugh at Time for Jeffrey on Twitter. If you don't listen to Jeff Kavanaugh on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff, you're missing out. He's covers the Cowboys, does a great job. Speaking of running the ball, Dak Prescott looking mobile, which, it always feels nice when we see Dak kind of go back to kind of early on rookie. I don't want to say rookie, but, early era Dak. when, running the ball was kind of a part of his game, or a more evident part of his game. But the Russian tutty, nice to see. And it's kind of funny how on that rushing touchdown, I think it was like the play before, if not 2 plays before, where he had a chance where he could have ran it into the end zone, and then he tried to sling one into Gallup that was like, it was just way, way out of reach. And I kind of thought to myself, I was like, man, like, run, what are you doing? And hey, next play, it's almost like he heard all of us, because we were all like, man, you had the space, run the ball. Next play, he's like, all right, I'm not missing this opportunity again. So took off, ran for it. Love to see it. And yeah, overall, the offense was just clicking. I think it was the first 4 drives were touchdowns, or at least first 4 were scoring drives. That's love to see that. And it kind of feels like this team has really been a second half offensive team. So getting off the quick starts is just massive plus anytime we're able to do that. And I said it earlier, but I'll say it again, 9 of 11 on third down, just being able to extend the drives and, keep them going is just huge. But getting into like extending drives, time of possession, all that, we actually did not have the time of possession lead on this game. And part of that is because the Cowboys were able to score so quick. The other part was the Bears were just running the ball, and they were kind of content to just run the ball and run the clock, which played into our favor. We were okay with that. So that kind of leads me into the defensive points of this game. And our rush defense was bad. It was bad. And it kind of continues to be a theme. We got Sheldon Rankins, sorry, I always mess it up. Jonathan Hankins, I believe. Jonathan Hankins from the Raiders. He's a good player. We'll see how much he helps. I believe he played like 30 something snaps, which was more than we expected. But also the Bears had 70 plus snaps in the game, thanks to running the ball every single play, it felt like. But defensively, the rush defense was not great. Defending Justin Fields himself was not great. So I really don't want to see that become a theme when you end up playing these quarterbacks like, Jalen Hurts again, and even Daniel Jones was mobile enough to cause some damage. So got to shore up just the run defense in general, and we'll see if Hankins helps, and just if overall now they got the teach tape where they can go back, look at this, and kind of diagnose what they need to do to get better at stopping the run and not allowing teams to do that to them. The pass defense, I mean, you can't really say it was bad, and it wasn't. I mean, it was good, but it's not like they were challenged a lot. Like Fields, 131 passing yards, and he wasn't throwing the ball much. So they were beating us on the ground, but I mean, I guess you could say good pass defense. Lots of snaps for Damone Clark. So Anthony Barr got hurt in this game, and we got to see Damone Clark, and man, I am excited for the potential of Damone Clark. I believe it was Micah Parsons' agent said something about he hit 22 miles per hour in the game, which you love to see that. And yeah, he looked fairly comfortable out there, being a guy who's coming off a injury, didn't get a ton of camp and all that, and kind of took 8 weeks to get ready for the season, but came in as a special teams player and ended up getting snaps and did not look out of place. That's for sure. So, I'm excited to see what he could potentially be, and we'll see how many snaps he gets going forward. I assume if Anthony Barr's okay, he won't see the field as much, but maybe they will. Maybe they get him some opportunities and see what he can do. And I would be all for that. Touching on some more young guys, touching on some more young players on the Dallas Cowboys. Mukwamu, he's so far shown the part, man. Like, there were times where they were putting him in the box, and if I'm not mistaken, this guy was a converted corner to safety, and he doesn't hit like it. He doesn't move like it like anymore. He has developed into a safety. He is a true safety, and he's big enough to play in the box, and he's got that frame. So yeah, I just want to shout at him. No hooker. So he was kind of playing more so of a more significant role and got a lot of snaps in, and yeah, he played well. Another guy that got in was Marquise Bell got in when I believe Donovan Wilson got hurt and came back after a few series, and then I want to say Kurse missed a couple plays, and at that point it was next man up, and that was Marquise Bell. And to be honest, I didn't really notice a ton, but I didn't notice anything in particular that was really bad. So I can say at least solid performance from him. And just kind of overall, the defense really never was in question. It's just the rush defense is an issue. And, the Dak interception, which I want to touch on, like I said, but the Dak interception put them in a bad position there, and they still held it to just a field goal. The offense was scoring at will, which made the defense be out on the field for a long portion of this game. And, when a team's just running at you, you start to wear down. And if you can't get off the field, then they weren't able to get off the field. So 29 points allowed is kind of shocking to see against the Bears, but I kind of think it was just more so evident that our offense was clicking that hard. And yeah, so getting into the Dak interception, I had to wear the jersey because I'm loyal to the soil. I love my boys, but when a play needs to be made or a play needs to be called out, then I got to call it out. And CeeDee Lamb just did not run a great route on that Dak interception. It's I hate to put blame on anybody, so I'm not putting blame on either. I'm just saying you can't fully throw this on Dak, like, oh, Dak's taking a shot. If you watch the play, and I was listening to, I believe it was Isaiah Stanback on the Dallas Cowboys podcast network. He said that I believe it was Hendershot, one of the tight ends, ran a route like a drag or an in to draw the linebackers, and CD was supposed to fit right in between the linebacker and safety, and then Dak was going to hit him in stride, and one man to beat. If not a touchdown, it's a big play, and it just didn't connect. CD didn't really run his route as crisp to fit in between that window that I was just speaking about. And yeah, so CD's, you hate to see it, but you just got to think that they're just going to get back on the same page. So, they'll work on that. And I thought the play calling overall, just kind of touching on that on offense, was really solid. I was really liking the 3 tight end sets that they just kept. They put in the 3 tight end set, got Chicago in a heavy formation, and then just kept them in it. Like quick no huddle, just a bunch of plays that can stem off of this 3 tight end set where you got a running back who's a wide receiver, you got the 3 tight ends who can all make plays for themselves, and then you can run the ball with Tony, you can throw a screen to CD, you can just do so many things out of that. And because you kept the defense in a heavy rush defense formation, it was able to have good success. And that drive in particular was just like it felt like and I'm not saying this negatively because this is said about Kellen Moore negatively, but it felt like it was straight up Madden, like, you can't do anything, I am just sunning you right now, you can't stop me. That's what it felt like. And yeah, throughout the whole game, he got, like I said earlier, he schemed up the runs for Tony and got him into successful position. So shouts out to Kellen Moore. And Dan Quinn shouts out always. We love Dan Quinn. There's not really too much negative I can ever say about Dan Quinn, but he's going to have the boys working on rush defense, I can tell you that for sure. So yeah, that's kind of my game recap. I'm super juiced. Cowboys are 6-2. Coming this so far from where I was after week 1 is kind of a hilarious thing to look back at. So if you want to go check that out, you can go back and meme on me how I was feeling just 1 week in. But the Cowboys are clicking, and I don't know. I hate when people start talking about us like we're a good team. I love it when people just doubt us, and we all know and they don't. But yeah, it's kind of hard to deny now. We're playing some really good football. As always, this has been a TDCR. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube at Off the Post Sports. Like and subscribe, follow on all the podcasting platforms. And I'm going to be coming back at it with a trade deadline review episode and just kind of get into the moves that the Dallas Cowboys did and didn't make. And we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, until next time, guys, Take care.